But now to the presidential race. The two frontrunners took part in dueling town halls this morning. Donald Trump on the Today Show, Hillary Clinton on GMA. Here were some of the highlights from Clinton's appearance.
I am not going to be responding to all the crazy stuff he says. And I have said to groups of Sanders supporters that they may not support me now. I totally understand that, but I support them.
Are you going to release your Wall Street transcripts?
Now there's a new request to release transcripts of speeches that have been given. When everybody agrees to do that, I will as well. My greatest regret was voting to give President Bush authority in Iraq. It did not turn out the way that I had thought it would, based on what he had said, and I regret that.
And here was Trump.
When people see that I'm going to bring jobs back to this country, when they see that I'm going to strengthen up the military, when they see that I'm going to have strong borders like nobody else can have, and we will build a wall, and Mexico will pay for the wall. We would have been better off if we never looked at the Middle East for the last 15 years. North Carolina, what they're going through with all of the business that's leaving and all of the strife, and that's on both sides. You leave it the way it is.
Who wore it best? No, just kidding. Who said it best? Who do you think had a little bit of a better communication during the town hall that might have advanced their career?
Okay, on Hillary Clinton, I think it is true that she was very gracious in 2008 when she finally threw in the towel and it was clear that Barack Obama was going to be the nominee. She gave a speech on the convention floor, and not just then, but leading up to the convention, and she campaigned hard for him. But she would say, I know that you wanted to vote for me as your nominee. That's not going to happen. I am asking you, let's give our support behind President Obama. And then she becomes the Secretary of State, like extremely gracious. I think the Democrats are counting on Bernie Sanders doing something similar for Hillary Clinton, maybe in the not too distant future. I do disagree with her strongly on this whole thing about her biggest regret being the vote for the Iraq War. I think she should own that vote. Based on the information that they had at the time, those votes made a lot of sense. Now, you can regret how the war was conducted. You can regret that the WMD wasn't found. You can regret a lot of things. But that vote was a solid one, and I don't think she should apologize for it.
Yeah, and a lot of people made the same vote, so what's the problem?
That's right. Well, the problem, I agree with you, Kimberly, people made the same mistake. She would probably say that's very much responsible for her 2008 loss. Because President Barack Obama, you know, that was such a big part of a lot of people's enthusiasm around him, he was the anti-Iraq guy, and that was so successful for him. So I'm sure she still feels like that's a sore
Can I
spot.
just push back a little bit on that? So she was in a different position. She was a United States Senator.
Yeah.
She was on Foreign Policy Committee, or Armed Services, one of the two. And so she had a direct say. She knew all of the info. She got the same briefing that everybody else did. Barack Obama, the way that he was able to object to the Iraq War was when he was voting present in the Illinois General Assembly. That's not a hard vote. I mean, she actually took a hard vote. Actually, but wasn't that hard based on the information she had. Even John Kerry voted for it. I think she should own it.
I think you're sorry. I just think you're exactly right, Dana. But this is like the beauty of why Donald Trump, I think, was able to come off a little better in this town hall, because he doesn't have a political record. When you've got a real political record, it is harder.
I think that's also what worked to President Obama's benefit.
I agree.
Is he didn't have that war vote on the Iraq War, and you know, I listened to her and I'm like, are you actually running against George W. Bush? Are you doing the same thing that Barack Obama did in 2 presidential cycles in a row? Because that tune has been played, and we want to hear something else. You know, Donald Trump, to your point, Ebony, he doesn't have a voting record at all. He can say whatever he wants about the Middle East, and people can dig up interviews, and if he says something anecdotally, he can say, that was just a casual conversation. That's not how I really felt about something like that, but I also don't.
So, Bowling, you know what just happened to you?
I got
outnumbered.
Outnumbered. But that's okay.
This is what happens when the ladies
I'm an extremely lucky guy right now.
But it was a fascinating conversation.
No, it actually is. Can I just weigh in on the way it feels like it's playing out right now? So Hillary goes on this town hall, does her thing this morning, and gets asked the one question that's going to be her Achilles going into a general election. So that was good. I thought that was fantastic. The transcripts. I mean, there's no going around that. You have to produce them eventually, because if that's the line she's going to use, well, everyone else has to produce transcripts. I'm sure they all will. Every single one of them could and would.
But if it's Trump or Cruz, they could say, I don't have any.
Right, or Bernie, or anyone. So that's the point. But here's the way it plays out for me. But Dana's right. I think within a very short period of time, Bernie Sanders Sanders is going to get behind Hillary because he wants to be the liberal superhero.
He's
right?
got to. He's running that
Then what
runway
happens
on
next,
this.
though? Think about this. Elizabeth Warren, who's played laid back for a long time, jumps into that boat also. That becomes a very powerful boat. That becomes Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and Hillary Clinton. You have basically the whole spectrum of the left behind one candidate. On the other hand, you have your swift voting. On the other hand, you have Trump out here who gets asked about abortion, about immigration, about ISIS, and gets kind of beat up a little bit in that interview. Matt Lauer wasn't giving him any breaks, neither were the others. So he has that going on, and everyone's picking apart every word he says on it. At some point, the GOP has to take a cue from the Democrats and say, get behind someone, and let's all fight this thing out together.
Put one behind the wheel. All right, Dan, you know love the song Girl Crush, right? That's one.
I do love that song.
You do love it. Well, we all have.
I sang it to you once.
Yes, you did. It's an emotional moment for me, too. And a lot of people have a girl crush on Melania Trump. So Melania and Hillary, Kennedy. Hillary Clinton both spoke this morning about habits that they'd like to see their husbands give up. Stop it, hubbies. Here's both of them on that.
What's the one habit you wish he'd give up? Let's see. Retweeting.
What would you say is Bill's most annoying habit?
No matter how tired he is, he always feels like he has to read before he falls asleep. So he used to have the light on. He always falls asleep, so that means I have to get up, go around, and turn the light off on the other side of the bed.
Isn't that so interesting? We all probably had our own little private thoughts.
I thought those are two good answers, though.
Yeah, she gave good ones. So
not an easy question for Hillary Clinton.
No, not at all.
Everyone's going to go, oh my God.
Kennedy's going to be like,
but I thought both good answers.
I thought she was going to talk about hot sauce in her purse again. You know, just ABB, anything but Bill.
Yeah. Well, I'm relieved that she didn't talk about hot sauce anymore. Definitely not. Didn't want to hear about that.
Oh.
And George Stephanopoulos with a knowing look there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough
time on the road. It's
like, oh, I know, he leaves the light on all the time.
She's like, and feasting on, McDonald's. Yeah.
And good luck getting Donald Trump to stop tweeting.
Yeah, exactly.
I got Hannity to stop tweeting for 2 weeks.
You did?
I did. I deleted his Twitter app off his phone with his permission.
Yeah.
And I think he put it back.
Good thing he's a 5 fan. All right, we have to go, but that was very, very fun.